just come fresh off a trip to Thailand. So I was running an event over there, and I was over there for 3 weeks, but the events themselves go for 1 week each. So I ran 2 events, like a back-to-back.
Yeah.
So we had in total 80 participants for the 2 1-week cycles. And yeah, so had a really good time. Obviously, jiu-jitsu is what we're there to do. So we're training twice a day, a cumulative 4 hours a day times 6 days, because you got that day in between, a bit of a rest day. So yeah, and we're training with this event. We had Mason Fowler, who's one of the top jiu-jitsu guys in the world. He's American, and it was a great time. We had about on camp 1, I think about 12 to 13 black belts.
Wow.
Which it's a it's a cool feeling for me. I'm like, wow, like we get a vast variety of people who are wanting to participate in this, not just people who are relatively new, but like seasoned, experienced people that are seeing value in it as well. So yeah, it was really cool.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
That sounds fun. And how many of these do you do a year?
Historically, we're doing 2 to 3 a year. So I'm now on track to do 3 a year. So this year, 2024, 3, 2025, we'll be doing 3 as well. So yeah, but we've been operating now since 2021, just straight off COVID pretty much. So in November 2021 was when we ran our first event. And I think COVID kind of maybe stimulated people to want to do it, because we were all kept indoors and not able to do anything for a while. So I was like, fuck, this event's coming up. Sweet, we can go on a bit of a holiday. We can train jiu-jitsu again. We're good to go. So yeah, we started in 2021, and then we've just been going full steam ahead since then.
How do you get this idea to turn something that's known for fighting, that people do in gyms and they go for competitions, but turn that into something that's for like holiday and retreats? And
yeah, well, I've always loved to go on holidays.
yeah.
So I've been very fortunate. My mum owns a travel company, and has for like most of my life. So we've always gone on holidays to cool destinations, and I've travelled a lot in my 20s and onwards. So it's always been a big part of my life. And then jiu-jitsu, I started training when I was 30. So about 6-7 years now I've been training. So I wanted to obviously love it, and then thinking, fuck, how can I experience this? And where we lived at the time in Australia was in the Whitsundays, which is kind of central Queensland. It's a real holiday, like you got the Great Barrier Reef and all the islands there. So we lived in a really ideal location, and I'm like, I could definitely put something together. And yeah, I knew a few high-level coaches in Australia at the time. And there's a bit of a longer story to it, but at the time I was in mining, and I wasn't really feeling really fulfilled with what I was doing. And I've been talking about, hey, how cool would it be if we did this? And my mum, who I mentioned, she'd heard it over and over and over, and she's like, well, why don't you do something about it? And finally one day I went to work for the week, and then she said, hey, I've gone and booked these trips, this holiday at a local resort, like in the Whitsundays. She's like, I've got 15 rooms for you for this camp. Now put it together. And so, yeah, like, and at the time, I just assumed like she's forked out all this money. So I'm like, fuck, I've got to make this work. And that was kind of the stimulus for the first one.
That's awesome, man. And so you're getting 50 guys come in for one session, which is a week long, and then you're doing 2 sessions back to back. You're doing one in Thailand, and then you're doing one in Australia.
Yeah, so the first one that we ran, like we had 20 on that one, right, for the first event.
Yeah.
And it's grown since then. Each event has been bigger, more people, higher profile coaches. So periodically over time, it's getting bigger. And now we're at 2 camps that we've just run a back to back. We had 50 on camp 1, and then camp 2 we had 30, so 80 in total. And it's been a really cool experience. It's humbling because it's a lot of work. Initially I thought, it's just a holiday. train jiu-jitsu. Very cool, very easy. But fuck, it's a lot of admin stuff that I'm not good at, but I've got good people around me who are helping me. And it's been really enjoyable.
Yeah, it sounds awesome. Why do you think it's growing?
I think jiu-jitsu as a whole is growing. I definitely know it is. Like, I started only 6 years ago. So I think it's growing because it ticks a lot of boxes that either people or, say, like parents want their kids to experience. So you've got like the confrontation period or process where, you know, you're engaging in a martial art with someone. So it ticks that box. It kind of gives you confidence. It also, you don't have the impact or head trauma that you'd have with, say, like MMA or boxing, where, you know, you're dealing with CTE and that sort of stuff. There's less kinetic energy because you're not throwing punches or knees or elbows. You're learning to control your body and your opponent's body. So it's kind of like, it's relatively safe to a point, although injuries are very common. Like I've got a pretty serious neck injury that I've been dealing with, but there's that perceived safety, and also you're on the floor. So, well, you start standing, but then you'll progress to the floor, and there's less violent movements, and so it's perceived more safe, I believe, for most people.
Yeah, and sort of like a good thing to do while you are also having a holiday.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like everyone who's coming on these on the retreats, they all partake in jiu-jitsu. So it's not like we're having someone come on a holiday and wanted to do this brand new. It's not advised. You could definitely do that, but you probably won't get much out of it. It's definitely advised that you have a base level of experience, and then you come on these trips. You know, you're doing what you love, which is jiu-jitsu, getting to hang out with people who all share the same passion. You're also then getting to hang out with a high-profile competitor or coach, like world champion level, and experiencing all these things in a new environment, learning new skills, making new friends.
Yeah, and I think it's also, by the sound of it, this idea that purposeful travel has become like a big thing. Like, you know, you spend a lot of money going traveling, and money has become more expensive, at least in the last 4 years. You want to do something that's kind of purposeful, something you love, and you hang out with people that share the same passion. Imagine being in a bus in a tour in Europe with strangers going and checking out the Eiffel Tower. It's the saddest thing I can think of, because you're with people that you don't know, and you're doing something that's, you know, it's just maybe have like a token value and never last long with you. You have a picture with the Eiffel Tower, but this, you can actually, you have a base level experience. You do it every day. It's part of your life. And then you can go with some friends, people you know, and you meet new people, and you do something cool in a new place, in a new gym, and you meet these different trainers, and you hang out with black belts. It gives you, like, you come back and you feel like, okay, this adds to my life.
Yeah, for sure. And like, not to take away from the bus experience, like I did that in my 20s. I did a bunch of Kentuckys, and to be honest, it was a fucking amazing time.
Yeah.
Like, all I was about back then was just partying, meeting new people. Like I like meeting new people and having new experiences and seeing these sites. But to be honest, the whole trip was benders, get a photo in front of the Eiffel Tower, back on the bender. And kind of, it was what I was looking for at that time. But now I'm a little bit older. Like we still, like there's a few times when we go out and party and have a good time.
Yeah.
But the real value is like you're developing your skill set, which you're passionate about, which is jiu-jitsu. You're then developing relationships with people who have the same values, and then like meeting these people, not just the coach, but all the other participants who are from all over the world. We had people from Japan come, America, Europe, Australia, New Zealand, like all over. And, you know, we all share this same passion for jiu-jitsu. So, yeah, I think, like, it's really cool to see when all these people meet for the first time and then experience the week together. You're all on a high because you're all doing something you love and in a new environment. But then everyone goes home back to reality. And what's really cool, what I really enjoy seeing is then these people catch up again, like, down track 6 months later, 12 months later. Like, people are coming to visit me here in New Zealand who I've had on my camps who had no intention to travel to New Zealand, but we developed that sort of friendship, and they're like, oh, we'll come to your gym, we'll come train there. Like, it's really cool. So it's lasting in that section. Whereas with the Kentucky experience that I had, which I really loved, but it was just different, and there was no lasting friendships. Like, I just think sharing a struggle and a passion with someone, it's kind of making it a bit more, it leaves an imprint on you.
Yeah, that's what I love about, I got into watching UFC maybe 2 years ago. I haven't yet got myself on the mat, but I will at some point. And I just love the culture, the community, that everybody is part of this, and in a very, it's a really cool vibe, and it's from the outside, it looks like everyone's having a really good time, fun, good habits. It's about getting yourself engaged. It's good for your mind. It's good for your body. It's good for your soul. It just feels like, wow, I want to be part of that. And starting at a gym basics it's a good thing, but also adding these extra bits like travel, doing one in Thailand, doing one in Australia, maybe one in Queenstown, or maybe one in America, in Vegas. It's just such a fun way to live, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I really enjoy, so with regards to jiu-jitsu, like the part that I love about it the most is just like the sparring or rolling. We call it rolling, but that's what I love about it. So you're exerting, you've had a shit day, you kind of catch up with your mates who all train. You're like, let's have an open mat. Like, I really enjoy that. One, you're expending energy, you're doing something you love, and you're developing that bond with these people further and further. And at the end of it, you feel like this, or I get this like release, like I just expended all this energy and everything is just still and calm. Like, it's hard to explain really. Like, or like CrossFit, for example, like you've done a really hard workout and at the end of that, you're just exhausted. It's like this level of peace and you feel like you've achieved something, or you've just pushed yourself. It's like that. I really enjoy that. And the content that we learn from the instructor is amazing, and it's world class. So you're getting that end result where you're getting that feeling of like just peace. You're taking on this knowledge. It's just really cool. It ticks a lot of boxes.
What's the age group that attend? Is this for kids as well, or is it just adult?
We allow kids from 14 and up. Okay. We've had a couple of 13-year-olds come on, but they have to be under the guidance of a guardian. But the general age range is, say, between 18 to we've had like some 6-year-olds participate. So, but I'd say generally around, say, 18 to 50 is the main range. But from 14 upwards is good to go, as long as you're allowed to train. And if you're under 18, you've got a guardian present and their consent.
And you have some basic skill sets.
Yeah. So anyone can kind of. We don't have like it's not like a cutoff. You have to have X amount of experience. But I think if you have a certain level of experience, say at least 3 months experience, like I think you'll get a lot more value out of it rather than someone who's just brand new and don't have any context. By all means, they can still come. But I think, if you've got at least 3 months experience, you'll get a lot more out of it than, say, someone brand new. Because you could just, if you're brand new, you could just go to a local gym and learn from a black belt there who have decades of experience and would be great. Like, you'll learn just as much as what you would coming on our event. But if at least you've got like a basic level of understanding, like you get a lot more out of it, I believe.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. How does the sign up work?
So this business is all run online. So I've got a website, and basically, like we've got, say, our next event coming up in March is in Thailand. So people go to the website, to the sales page, they look at the package that they want. We've got private room tickets, twin share tickets where you share a room with, another participant of the same gender. So guys, girls. And then you can go training only as well. So depending on what you're wanting, you can purchase the ticket through there. You put down your deposit, which is 400 Australian dollars. And then we send you the invoice for the remainder, and you just got to have it paid off before the camp. And then, we send you all the details. We meet you when the event comes around. We meet in country at the resort. We have like a welcome sort of evening dinner, bit of an open mat, and then start training from there.
Yeah. So when they're on the mat, what sort of stuff are they learning?
So for each coach or each participant, each competitor that we work with, they all specialize in a different aspect of their jiu-jitsu. So Mason Fowler, for example, who we just had, he obviously world class, but is renowned for his half guard. So he was focusing a lot on his half guard techniques. Which is just basically a set level of attacks and defenses from a certain position. So he was focusing primarily on those positions and showing where he goes to from there. So our next one coming up in March, we've got Owen Livesey, who's like world-class judo and wrestling and jiu-jitsu. So he has a really unique aspect that he does with the stand-up game and takedowns. So he'll be he'll be focusing on those areas there. So each coach brings their own sort of skill set in their own little niche area. And we go through that for the week.
Yeah. And I guess people coming on this, when they're on the mat, they are expecting that they improve on their skill sets, whether it's half guard or other things that they want to learn and improvise on. So in every tour that you do, are you thinking about including every single different type of skill set that you want to focus on, instead of a coach that you bring in and he specializes in that, and for the whole week you're just doing half guard?
So at the moment, we have, say, this 7-day camp that we've just run. We've had Mason cover half guard, which is hugely like so many variations. It's not just like one sequence and that's it.
Right.
Each session, is like a whole bunch of sequences, say at least 5 or 6 sequences. Then the next session, 5 or 6 variations from that.
Right.
And it's like it's like a library, basically. It's not just one page and you're going over that for 7 days. It's like a book and all these different variations from this one subject.
Yeah. Yeah. Now you're talking like an experience that now you're going past my knowledge of what jiu-jitsu is.
Yeah. There is this endless variety of positions and moves and counter moves. And it's, you could, people do this for decades and decades and still don't have all the answers. So it's like variations upon variation. And it's just a ever ongoing, evolving situation.
Yeah. And how long does it take for someone to get their jiu-jitsu black belt?
It varies, but on average 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So, average 10 years. You can definitely do it sooner. There are people who have done it sooner, but they're like training a lot more, say several times, like a couple times a day, several times a week, like professionals. Whereas you take your general recreational jiu-jitsu practitioner, you'll be looking around about 10 years on average.
Wow. Yeah. That sounds like it's such a fun thing to do.
Yeah, it's a process for sure, and from my personal experience, a lot of the time, you think you're doing well, and then like all of a sudden, someone just comes in and humbles you, who is like a lower rank than you, and obviously everyone's got their own physical attributes and abilities and skills. And then you get people who are like naturally gifted athletes, like say rugby players, and then their bodies are so used to being in certain positions just through their chosen special sport, like rugby, or wrestlers who, they might be just considered a white belt because they haven't actually done jiu-jitsu, but they've had years of accumulated experience in these similar situations, and they absolutely just smash you. And it's like, wow, I actually thought I was good at this, but yeah, not so much.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Tell me a little bit about the gym that you train at in Thailand.
So the gym that we've been going to in Thailand, in Phuket, is called Bangtao MMA. So anyone who's kind of in the MMA scene, a lot of people know about this gym. You've got the Hickman brothers, Frank and George Hickman. They're coaches to a lot of the UFC stars or assistant coaches or, specialists come in. So it's an amazing facility. I went there when just after they first opened, and I was already blown away with how good it was. But each year I've gone back, they've just improved. The facility has expanded, gotten bigger and gotten better. They have a lot of the top talent coming through. We were just there in November, and they had Ian Gary was there, Whaley was there. They had a lot of the top UFC talent just coming through just for training, or they're in their fight camp, so they're coming through there.
Yeah,
and then just recreational people as well. Like you're looking, they have MMA, they have Jiu-Jitsu, they have all striking, they have a whole fitness section, like all weights and sort of CrossFit style setup. Yeah, it's an amazing venue.
Yeah, it's amazing. And so how did you manage to kind of build that partnership with them to run BJJ Escapes?
So I went there and just trained there for a couple of weeks, and just, got talking to them, to some of the management team there, and just said, hey, I'd love to run an event here. At that time, they only had one sort of mat section. So we had to look to structure it within or outside of their class times. That was fine. We just made that work. But then, as I said, they've kind of built and gone on. They now have like specialist rooms for groups that kind of come over, and you kind of segregate it up there, and it makes it a bit more exclusive. It's like the one we were in was air conditioned, so dodging that Thailand heat. It was pretty good.
Yeah, it's quite hot out there.
Yeah,
for sure.
But they're constantly having group. Like we're not the only group that go there. There are heaps of groups that go through, all different things. There's MMA groups, Muay Thai groups. Yeah, everything.
Yeah. And I can imagine some really good spots to go out for dinner and hang out, and good breakfast and good food and just good nourishment as well. What's the food like experience if someone goes to this 1 week experience? What kind of food and all the liquids they're getting in their body? Yeah,
so the food over there, or obviously Thailand, depending on where you're coming from, is Thailand's very affordable. So if you're eating local food, you're going to eat a lot of the Thai cuisine dishes. So like lots of, say, noodles, rice, meats, those sorts of things. I'm pretty boring. I just stick with what I know. I also have some allergies with like a lot of seafood, so I just eat normal Western food. But if you're over there and you're looking, like, you can get anything you want. There's all different meats on sticks. There's all the street vendors. Like, you can get anything you want. Drinks wise, like, obviously it's quite hot, so you got to stay hydrated. But yeah, definitely don't drink the tap water. That's a valuable lesson that a lot of people have learned over time. Like, I thought it was inherent that you would understand, don't drink tap water in a country like that. But some people, even like using it to brush your teeth, like, some people say it's fine, but I wouldn't run that risk. Like, just drink bottled water, use bottled water.
Yeah, what would also be fun if you're like a group of like 5 people, 10 people, you get a nice house. You can afford to hire your own chef, and they can just go to the markets and make you breakfast before you get on the mat, and make you like really good smoothies and good lunches and good dinners. Maybe you want to save the dinner for like going out and having good meals. But that sounds super fun. Like
so we stay
fun thing to do.
Yeah, we stay at a resort across just down the road. It's like a 4-star resort, and it's beautiful. Like, huge swimming pool, lots of families. So they have buffet breakfast every morning. And that's like they have a lot of their Thai cuisine dishes, but then they have a lot of Western food to cater for a lot of their clientele. And then, so that's every day. We normally hook in for breakfast there. Then we train in the morning. Session generally goes, say, 8 till 10. Come back, lunchtime, head out for like a local dish down the road, just a bit of noodles or rice and a bit of meat. And then afternoon session, 2 hours, and then we head out that night. Group dinners. We have group dinners every several nights. So we go to restaurants that I know, that I've been to over years of sort of just experience, where their food is not questionable. It's like, okay, we're not going to get sick if we eat this food. You got to be cautious in some places. Like, as I said, the water, you can get pretty cooked from that. But then also the meats and the oils that they use, it doesn't agree with a lot of people. So, you can get a lot of the group go sick, and it's like you're losing half the people for a few days with a bit of a tummy bug. So, but yeah, we go out and we do the local markets, enjoy the local cuisines, do a lot of the shopping. Like, you can get some. It's very similar to Bali with a lot of the food and then the shopping. You can get some pretty good knockoff clothes and bring it back home, and there's all your Christmas gifts for everyone.
Yeah. No, that's cool. What's the recovery like? These guys are on the mats for a week, and I assume there's a lot good recovery because it's a retreat and it's a holiday. You're probably not pushing too hard on the mat, but do you have a bit of a routine around recovery? Good sleep and good liquids, and what not to eat, what to eat, and
yeah, it's a bit of both. So one of the things I preface the group with, like at the intro to everyone, is load management. So we all come from different backgrounds. We all have different experience on the mat. So I'd say 90% of the people there don't train 4 hours a day, which we are doing whilst at the retreat. So you've got to manage the load of the training, the intensity of the training. Like, it's down to the individual. So you don't have to do every session. You don't even have to roll every session. So pick and choose, and definitely, just manage it as you go. So that's down to the individual. And then in regards to, say, like recovery, we got ice baths that we go jump in. They have like massages all set up all around. So, and it's all well priced. So, a bit of recovery there, protein smoothies and all that after the sessions. So yeah. But the biggest thing is load management, because a lot of people are coming in. They might do, say, 2 to 3 sessions a week, generally like an hour and a half per session. So say like 3 to 5 hours per week normal for recreational trainers. And we're doing, say, 4 hours a day times 6. So there's a lot that your body's taking, a lot of punishment because you're training hard. So yeah, just got to manage it individually. And if you need to sit out, by all means, sit out. Like, it's your holiday as well, so you're there to have a good time and enjoy yourself.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense, because last thing you want is getting injured while you're there, having a good time. Do you get much, like, what's you're running the whole thing and you're managing 50 people or 20, 30 people, whatever you have in one session, week-long session. What's your injury management? How much of that do you do? People get injured a lot, or?
Historically, fortunately, we haven't had many injuries. It's jiu-jitsu's, injuries are inherent with jiu-jitsu. They're going to happen. And a lot of the time it's unpredictable. It just happens randomly. But that's where you can kind of gauge with the intensity. It's like, all right, well, proper warm-ups, proper sort of routine before you do anything that's, going to potentially expose you or your body to at-risk movements. Injuries do happen, and the process that we have is like what you'd have at your normal gym or just anywhere. Is basically, firstly, make the person comfortable, get them seen to by a professional, healthcare professional, and then sort of under their advice, the healthcare professional, we go through that process to rehabilitate them. But yeah, injuries do happen, and then we just try and manage it as best we can.
Yeah, and does that include in the package that you do in terms of like, whether it's health insurance or whether it's the professionals you have locally that will come and help someone get, looked at? Is that how do you deal with that? Is that all included, or is that separate, or do you expect people to have their own health insurance when they come to your camps?
Yep. So we don't include health insurance. It's or travel insurance. Sorry. It's part of the condition of the ticket through the checkout process is we highly advise everyone to purchase their own travel insurance policy for that week or that period, because that covers not only the training, that covers like scooters, anything that can happen outside of the training, which is outside of our control. Fortunately, anyone who's sustained an injury during any of my events, they've all had travel insurance. So, but we've never had to actually, repatriate anyone back to the home country or anything like that. There's never been a severe enough injury to warrant that. in regards to, say, the injury process, like, so I've had to take people to hospital, whether that's been for like a cut, like a superficial cut, they've had to get stitches and that sort of stuff. So, that happens at, the hospital. And the hospitals, depending on where you go, but say in Phuket, the hospital that we went to, the Bangkok Phuket hospital, when they said you have to go to Bangkok hospital, I was like, what the fuck? That's like ages away. We could catch a flight, but it's actually just, 40 minutes from where we are. They just named it Bangkok Phuket Hospital. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, so that's basically, if you don't have health insurance, if you don't have travel insurance, you just pay a fee, and it's, 100 Australian dollars, which is several thousand baht, which is a lot of money for them over there. But, it's good service. The hospital is good. So, yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like, you kind of got everything covered.
Yeah.
The experience, the food, the injuries, the load management, the meeting these really cool guest trainers that they usually would not interact with. They might watch them on YouTube or something, It's a nice package.
Yeah, for sure. And that's iteration upon iteration over time, right? And still, like, we're only a relatively new business, and I'm learning each time. Like, the last event, I dealt with things I've never dealt with. So, but, you just try and, like, go in with how can I best handle this, and then just iterate from that. And, yeah, working with, like, high-level coaches and competitors, like, I'm even starstruck. Like, it's pretty cool when I engage someone like, say, Mason or Yuri or Josh Hinger, the other people I've worked with. It's like, hey, I'd like to do this. We don't know each other. I'm just instigating this communication. They're like, yeah, let's do it. I'm like, fuck, I'm pretty blown away. It's pretty cool. Starstruck. So, yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, and you've just come back from Thailand. You've done 2 weeks back to back.
Yep.
You had 50 in one and 30 in the second?
Correct. Yeah.
How was that experience? What sort of stuff did you deal with?
It was intense. It was just a lot, like, and when I say intense, it was amazing, but it was a lot. And I slept for like 3 days when I got home. I was just, because I'm on edge, like, I'm wanting to make sure everyone's having a good time.
Yeah.
I'm wanting to make sure that, everything's covered, and maybe just my overthinking brain, my ADD brain is like, all right, think about this, think about that, think about that. But no, it was amazing. So the sort of things I've dealt with in that camp, and other camps, say, we've had some pretty out there experiences. We had so this is the thing, right? When you're getting people, these people are strangers. Like, I don't know them, they don't know me, and the whole group, no one likely knows each other unless you're traveling with a few people, So you got people that have got medical conditions or like behavioral conditions, that sort of stuff. So we've had people who have kind of potentially say they're on medication for like a condition, a mental condition. So potentially people didn't bring their medication or stopped taking their medication, and then their behavior shifts, and it's like I've had to address those sorts of things. And then you got another thing, whereas people are outside of their home, right, where they're confined to their normal behavior, and now they're in a foreign country where they're allowed to basically do whatever they want. So some people get carried away, go out on like a partying streak. So we've had people, we've had people who have come on the event, like booked to pay, come on the event, and I haven't seen them all week because they've been out partying. And so Patong, which is a bit of a party capital, it's about half an hour down the road. So I'm messaging these people. I'm like, hey, are you okay? I haven't seen you. Like, oh yeah, we're in Patong. I'm like, are you going to come train? Like, oh, maybe. I was like, have a good time. Hope you're having a good time. So, and like, it's a holiday for people. It's not just, hey, I'm here to train. It's like, hey, I'm here to get away or have a bit of a break from my hectic life back home, a bit of a release. And it's kind of like where the name BJJ Escapes came from. It's an escape from, your mundane life or your hectic life, and you just want to detach for a little bit. So that's all part of it.
Yeah, it's funny. I never thought that someone would go and just like go full noise party, and never show up to the training. Yeah. But I guess you get just a different range of people.
For sure.
For sure. Some people, like I would go for the mat experience and do a little bit of fun.
Yeah.
But I'd never thought that someone would do the opposite.
Yeah, well, you kind of get people at all ends of the spectrum. So either 100% one way, just training and nothing social, which is fine. And then you got someone who's the complete opposite and it's all social and no training. So I like to think we kind of be somewhere in the middle. And I myself, like, I like to party. I like to go out. I like to enjoy. I like to experience the culture in the area. But also, I'm there to train. So yeah, it's kind of somewhere in between. But yeah, you've got people who are that's their holiday for the year. So they want to do whatever they want. I'm like, I'll help facilitate that as best I can.
Yeah, and most of your customers, I assume, they're coming from Australia and New Zealand.
Yeah, currently, yeah, because I'm from Australia, and initially, like several events I ran were primarily in Australia, so that's where most of my market at the moment is. But as we're getting bigger, and bringing in people like higher level, higher profile coaches, we're getting attention from other locations, other countries. And it's really cool. Like I had someone from Alaska message me saying, "Hey, I wanted to come."
Wow!
And all these out there places, which I never thought I'd like ever. I never even thought to think outside of Australia. To be fair,
They're finding you on Instagram.
Yeah. So a lot of it is, as I mentioned, I bring in the higher profile coaches, and they have an audience already, like an existing audience. And a lot of these people who follow them would like to interact with them. They'd like to train with them, and just they obviously like them. So like, oh, he's going to this, maybe we can go to that and have that interaction with that person and then train with them. So yeah, a lot of that is utilizing the coach's existing network. Some of it is marketing as well. We do a fair bit of marketing where we target like locations and people's interests and that sort of stuff. So yeah, but it's really cool. Like we had someone from Okinawa just on our last event. And yeah, just like, I'm like, wow, that's really cool.
Yeah. I think that makes a lot of sense. You bring these guys and they have a following, and then people follow them. And then it's an experience they have with BJJ Escapes and in Phuket, and it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But also, I think the cool thing about this and the way that you do it is it sounds like the improvisation cycles you go through as a business and the growth that you get from these experiences, you implement them very quickly. And when the next show comes along, it's like a much more better experience, much more better product.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's each time it's a learning process. And so this time was this event just gone in Thailand. That was the first time we've ever ran a back-to-back event. So, you know, I had my thoughts on how it would go, but what you perceive and what actually happens are two different things. So it was highly successful, but it was a lot. And I was very fortunate that I had some people there to assist me, because if I had just ran those 2 weeks by myself, I would have been like, I want my energy to be on for all these participants, because they're paying money, they're taking time out of their busy schedule to be there and have an enjoyable experience. So if I'm not on and delivering and kind of being that personality they need to facilitate anything they're after, I kind of feel like I'm failing them. So the first week, like, was on, like the energy was through the roof, the vibe was great, everyone was having a blast, and I was like pretty exhausted. And then I'm like, fuck, how am I going to back this up for the next one? So I was very fortunate. I have a good team with me who they can also facilitate that. They're like, all right, go have a day off. Here, we'll take over. And the second camp was even as successful, even more so. It was a smaller group, so it was more intimate. And those people, like, the feedback that I'm hearing from like those people in those relationships, I'm like, fuck, it was awesome. And that's the step. Like, I want to be operating where it's not just relying on me only. Like, I've got a family that I need to I had to come back early. Halfway through camp 2, I had to leave, which was already arranged. So I had someone there to help me. And I was actually pretty worried. I'm like, how's this going to go? But it exceeded my expectations, and yeah, no, it was great.
Yeah, it sounds like you're getting at a point with your business where you have more people joining in. They are learning fast, and they can do stuff when you're not there. And then that's like a good indication that the business can scale to a point that you can have more people running shows in same locations or different locations. And you don't have to be there. The business just matures. And a good thing about a business, a good indication about any good business is it functions without the owner being involved in every single detail of it. Otherwise, it's the job. It's just a job, right? And that just allows you to just be better at what you're doing and still keep it the size that you want. What do you think is a good size of this business for you? I mean, how big do you think you want to get it without losing its like experience that people enjoy today? And
yeah, that's a good question. I'm just blown away with where it is now. And like, I never really thought it would get to this point. So I've just recently quit my full-time job about 6 months ago, quit my full-time job in Australia. And I'm now able to like facilitate my income requirements through this business. Now, I never thought that was going to be a thing. I was just very lucky, very fortunate that it's kind of gone the way it's gone. For the future, I'd love to be able to maintain, and then like it was a pretty big step for me to be able to say leave that second week and leave it in the responsibility of someone else. Obviously, I trust this guy. This is Reese. So I knew he'd do a good job. But like, this has been my baby for several years, and I'm like all these things, what if? But, you know, I had trust in him, and I knew he'd do a great job, and we got a great relationship. So what I love is like, you know, for the growth to continue, and then for the people that like say Reese and other people that I look to work with, like it can cover our needs as a career. Like I'd love that. That would be amazing.
yeah, I think we've had a few conversations offline about business and growth and what it looks like. And one thing I like about your style is you're very content and happy with what it is and not losing the essence of what it is. Because you can very quickly screw it up.
Yes.
By going too big and have all these people involved who you have not worked with. And it takes a long time to get to know people, trust them, at least 12 months, 18 months, if not more. And I think that's like the great thing. You're doing how many shows, how many tours you're doing now? You're doing
3 a year.
3 a year?
Yeah.
And that's one in March.
Mm-hmm. So for next year, let's just say this year just gone. So we had April in Australia and then 2 in Thailand.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and for next year, in March, we got 2 in Thailand, and then I'm in the planning at the moment, the 1 in Australia, and looking to potentially add a 4th one, looking at a location in New Zealand.
Okay. So you kind of do in the beginning of the year, March, and then you do October.
Yeah. So there's kind of like, and this is all a learning process, but like I think at a certain stage, running too many is detrimental. And like I can only do so much, and there's only so much of a market to market to, I think. So I think at least having 6 months between events, I think is a good barrier or a good sort of break where people can kind of go, oh yeah, I might do that one. Oh no, I won't do that. So in 12 months I'll do the next one. So like, yeah, I'm building and learning as I go. But yeah, so let's just say first quarter of the year and the last of the year. So like at the moment, and ideally I'd like to get it to a point where I'm running where an event could run every, say, 4 months. So that's like, say, first quarter, the middle, and then that's where you bring in the back-to-backs. Yeah.
Makes sense to me. I mean, I think, you know, when you do one in the beginning of the year, like March, it's like, you know, you're starting your year, you know, if you want a holiday to kind of, you know, kickstart or get into things, you know, you can go do BJJ Escapes. If you're finishing your year, you can do one. It's a good way to kind of, you know, finish the year off, go test your skills, learn a few more things, have a holiday, come back, and then you can get into Christmas type thing. It makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, for sure. And like each event is kind of unique in and of itself. So we've got Thailand, which we've just done, and in March, that's a week-long event. So then let's say an Australian event that I ran in April this year, that was a 4-day event, and that was a different sort of setup. So with that one, we had 4 different coaches, and they all ran 4 sessions individually. So that was we had no gi coaches, we had gi coaches, and they all ran 4 different sessions. And then 4 days, it was pretty much every hour there was a session. So, and people could pick and choose what they wanted to do. So if you wanted to do this coach's sessions, here's the schedule for the weekend, go do that. We had some people who did all of it, and that was like a lot. But then we had people who only did the gi sessions or only did the no gi sessions. And it's entirely up to everyone what they want to do. So each event is not the same. It's not like, oh, we only do this event for 7 days and it's like rinse, repeat.
Yeah.
Try and add a bit of variety, and then looking to bring on board on other locations. So we get to experience new areas, new cultures, and yeah.
Yeah. Would you add new locations and keep the existing ones, or would you switch so people that come on your show in your events, they might want to rebook, and so they will be interested in a different location?
Yeah, I think the answer is both. Like I want to bring on board a New Zealand location because I now live in New Zealand. And I don't know, it's just something about New Zealand is I obviously really enjoy it here, and I think there's a lot of beauty here. There's a lot of interest as well. Like when I'm on these events and people find out that I live here, they're like, "Oh, you're going to run one there?" Like, we'd love to come.
That's the first question.
Yeah, so it makes a lot of sense.
Where would you do it in New Zealand?
There's a few areas, but the one that stands out most is Queenstown. I think it ticks a lot of boxes, and I've never been there, so I want to. Like, this is,
and it's a travel route as well.
Oh yeah,
especially like a lot of people, Australians that come here, I think they'd go to Queenstown first thing on the list. I think.
Yeah, if you think about an area where people generally travel to, it's like, yeah, well, Queenstown's definitely top of the list. You've got the additional like exposure. It could work in the summer. It could work in winter. Like you've got the snow or beautiful summer there. So
and we live in Taranaki. Yeah, I think it's a good location too. Very hospitable. Lots. And one of the good things about Taranaki is people that come to New Zealand don't come to Taranaki. It's kind of like a hidden.
Yeah, it's off the beaten track.
Yeah. But as a business, you want to make sure you have all the facilities available to run a really good event.
Yeah, for sure. It would be a good location to run it here in the summer, I believe. But the biggest thing you got to contend with is access. So if my market is Australia, they would have to catch multiple flights to get here. Whereas Queenstown, it's a international airport.
Is it?
Yeah. Yep.
So you can go Australia to Queenstown direct.
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So obviously you have to pick your flights and all the timings. But yeah, it's a major airport for access. So yeah, that's one thing that ticks the box. Or you got Auckland or Christchurch or Wellington as well. But I think if you are looking from a tourism perspective, Queenstown is kind of the answer.
I think so.
So unfortunately, I've just got to go there and check it out and then pick the locations.
When are you going to go?
I was actually going to go this weekend, but I haven't booked the flights yet. But because we've got Christmas coming up, I'll probably likely wait till I get back after the Christmas break, and I'll head over there and check it out.
Yeah. Are there gyms there? The mats and everything already set up, facilities?
Yeah, there are a couple of gyms there. So I would look to probably make a pop-up facility. I wouldn't look to utilize an existing facility there. Just because, like, it depends. If the facility is, like, nice, which I haven't seen these two facilities, but I've seen them online. So I'm not saying they're not nice, but I don't think I kind of like to, for these events, people are spending a fair bit of money to come and enjoy them. So rather than just going to an existing gym, like I want to create something special. So I'm looking to, set something up. So our event that we had in April in Australia, we hired out a resort down the south end of the Gold Coast, and we created like a pop-up gym. Essentially, they got a conference room, huge conference room. I got mats shipped up from Sydney and created a pretty like special environment, I think. And everyone's blown away. The resort was I think it's a 4 or 5 star resort. Beautiful pools on the beach. It was really cool experience. So I think sometimes if you have it at an existing gym, unless it's say like Bangtao, which is a remarkable gym, that's not a standard sort of setup. I think it might detract away from the experience.
Okay. Would it be a summer event or a winter event?
The first one, if it is to happen the first time, it would be summer, because to chuck in a winter event, you're contending with a whole bunch of additional potential situations that I don't have the answers for yet, like snow, etc., etc.
Yeah.
So
But the snow in Queenstown's good.
oh yeah, for sure.
But then you have to attract all this different type of customers that actually want to go in winter and have a snow experience, you know?
Yeah, for sure. But it will be, like, let's say it does happen, it will be both. So the first time I'll run a summer event, see how it goes, and then take that knowledge and then look to iterate upon it, and then contend with a winter event. It's like, hey, well, we've just done this. Let's chuck winter in now and see how that works. Like, yeah, it would likely be both, but the first time would be a summer event.
Yeah, you want to stick to what you are already doing. Otherwise, you're dealing with so many different variables.
Yeah, and I love snowboarding. So, like,
Okay.
you know, a lot of these places and these things, like, I try to put my head in, like, my customer's perspective, but I actually think, well, what would I want to do? Because a lot of people are similar to me. Like, we all love jiu-jitsu. We all want to travel, explore. So I'm like, well, what would I like to do? Fuck, I'd love to go snowboarding. So yeah, let's do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, I mean, it's a no-brainer. New Zealand having something here makes a lot of good sense. And I also think, like, you know, in the future, as you expand and as you do more things, you know, America, I mean, you know, jiu-jitsu, UFC, Vegas, you know, that's just like easy.
Yeah, so it was pretty cool situation where I was just in Thailand, and I had a venue from Costa Rica message me asking me if I would run an event there. So I suppose they maybe follow Mason or someone, whoever was on my event, and they got, like, led to my page. So then they reached out and said, hey, we like what you're doing. Look like it's going quite well. Would you like to maybe do something like that over here? I'm like, fuck, of course I would love to.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's definitely.
I think the Paul brothers live in Costa Rica, Jake and Logan Paul. I think they have a gym over there.
Yeah,
Costa
I don't
Rica.
know.
I'm pretty sure they do.
Yep.
So there must be a scene, a big scene.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I think it's locality to America is it's not too far. Yeah. I think it's like the cost of living over there is relatively affordable. So yeah, I think it ticks.
Would it work in Brazil?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Or many people already do it. You're competing with, like, the best.
There would be businesses that already do it in Brazil,
but you would do it differently.
Yeah, for sure. Like each business adds their own flair. Like I don't know of any that do it in Brazil right now, but I'm sure there is. And camps or tours, Brazil. You're talking Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, so you know you think, oh, the origin of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is Brazil. Yeah. I've been to Brazil and it's amazing.
Yeah.
There are a few things to contend with that I would need to kind of look around, like, say, safety. Like, certain places in Brazil can be perceived as unsafe.
Yeah.
Whether that's just, you know, the media portraying that or not, but yeah, there's a few added considerations that I would need to look at.
And it's really cool for me, like, as an outsider fan, and I watch UFC, and it's really cool to see these Australian fighters that come and fight in the UFC bring the Aussie flair. Like Volk, when you watch him, it's like you get a very different experience of fighting. That Australian, you know. So if you take yourself as an Aussie and your Australian business and you take it to Brazil, people would love that flair. You take it to Vegas, people would enjoy that flair. You know, the same thing with when we see Kiwis fight in UFC, and when we see other, like, you know, you just see a very unique, different style of fighting, culture, vibe, and it's fun.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, like, there's so much beauty in Brazil. Like, I was fortunate enough when I went there, I got to spend some good time there and got to see and do a lot of cool things. And I'd love to put something like that together. It's also a long flight from Australia, so you're contending with a few other things. And also my original coach is Brazilian, so if I need a contact, he'd be the first one I'd look up for sure.
Yeah, and I think BJJ Escapes can grow into something where you maintain your key locations that you do every year. You know, one in Thailand, one in New Zealand or Australia, And then you can have these tours, like a one-off.
Yeah.
You know, UFC did a one-off UFC Noche at the Sphere. Never do it again, right? But you can do these one-off things where your existing customer go, wow, I'd love to do that one. And then you attract all these new people. And you're doing them with people like, you know, these guys from Costa Rica that actually want to have you on. Then it's much more of an easier experience because you actually have that pull and everyone's kind of pulling the resources. At the end of the day, ambition is the cool thing. I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do that. But it's the reality is, you know, how much resources can be pulled together to make something really happen. So when you have people that really love your business and they see that it's going really well and they want to bring your flair and your experience in their location as a one-off thing, I think that's always a good thing for the business anyway. Like, you're doing this one-off thing, it's fun, let's go do that.
Yeah, for sure. Like, and that's where like bringing on more team members to assist, or, you know, having contacts in these certain areas, like Costa Rica, for example. Like, I don't know anything about Costa Rica, but they're like, we can help facilitate all of these things, like a laundry list of things. And I'm like, well, that would make my life very easy.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, it's having those contacts and then developing those relationships, because like, let's just say, for example, I'll give you an example. A lot of people ask me about, would I run an event in Bali? And I would love to. I go to Bali all the time. But there's a few major like concerns with Bali, one being like special visas and the right to actually operate a business in Bali. So a lot of businesses that I see over there right now, they're just operating on the fact, like, on a tourist visa, which a lot of people can get by on and not have an issue, but it's actually illegal. And I've had friends who operate businesses in Bali and coaches who coach business like jiu-jitsu over there, and they've had their passport seized and locked up and had to pay a bribe to get out.
Wow.
So there's certain considerations you need to kind of factor in, and those sorts of things. So like, that's why I haven't operated in Bali yet. It's not that I never will. It's just that I need to make sure all those things are in place, because imagine we go to Bali. It would be an amazing experience. But let's just say then the law enforcement show up and like take me or the coach away because, hey, we're not operating like under their sort of special process. Like, that would harpoon my business. So I'm trying to be conservative, but yet bring in new things and add new flair to it. But baby steps.
Yeah, and I think, you know, one of the things that people don't kind of see or realize or understand is, you know, you're not doing this as a casual thing. You're a professional business person, and you run a business with good best standards from all aspects of thing.
Yep.
You want to make sure the local community is winning from your business, and you're creating jobs for them, and you're doing it professionally. You're paying whatever needs to be paid. It's all legal. And then on the top, the customers get a really good experience because it's all the touch points and whatever they want to achieve from that experience. Sounds like it's personalized in many ways. You're making sure everybody's having a good time, whatever they're there for, whether they're having a party, never show up on the mat, or they're on the mat every day, or whether they have an injury, or whether it's the load that they're enjoying, the load that they're sort of managing. And then everything on the top, your staff, make sure they have a good experience. And then all these guests, black belters that come as, you know, on the mat to train others, they want to come back and work with you. So there's a lot of layers going on, and it's a professional business.
Yeah, for sure. And like, I like to do good work, like just personally. Like, so if I'm not 100% behind it or confident in it, I'm like, I'll just give it a bit more time. Like, I'm not in a rush. It's taken, you know, several years to get to where we are, and although that's not a long time, but, you know, it's been a lot of like effort, and I just want to keep trying to make the right decisions.
Yeah, and you see that starking difference of how people run the business. So you look at how, you can look at UFC and compare that with boxing. Boxing for a long time has just dropped because it's been so casual, very hard to create fights, there's no structure. And then you see UFC, you know, so well run, so well polished, and you can see the difference. And I think in Saudi Arabia, there's a sheikh that's starting to follow the UFC model to do boxing really well, right? but it's something that people really don't understand, this idea that, it's actually a business and people really put a lot of effort into creating these really fun experiences. It's not just a casual, I'm just a guy and I'm taking people over and it's just a fun thing. It's actually a business.
Yeah, for sure.
It's good practice.
And I feel it's a reflection of me. Like, I want to do a good job, and I feel like if I don't do a good job, then I kind of failed. So I don't want to, I kind of want to make sure that, it's all going well.
Yeah. So what do you do when a customer doesn't have a fun experience? They finish the camp and they're like, this is not what I thought it was. How do you deal with stuff like that?
Negative feedback. Yeah, I try to take the ego out of it, because it's kind of when I first dealt with that sort of stuff, it hurt. So I'm like, well, fuck, what did I do wrong? And it actually wasn't anything I did wrong. It was like completely something else. So
you just want to get them on the mat and beat them.
No, you kind of that's definitely one option. But I try to take the personal out of it and try and figure out, why, or ask them why. And sometimes they don't even know why. It's like, maybe the group didn't interact with that individual how, they wanted, or, and like, this is a group dynamic. So people, you get out what you put in, right? Like, we're all meeting each other for the first time. So it's just like, some people mix well and kind of put themselves out there, and others like kind of don't really want to do that. They're a bit shy. I try to facilitate that as best I can. But any negative feedback, like, I welcome it. I welcome positive and negative feedback. I was speaking to a friend today, and he was saying to me he prefers to receive negative feedback because it gives him something that he needs to work on. Whereas positive, there's nothing that he can do with that. Like, it's nice to know that I'm doing the right job, but like, whereas if he receives something negative and it's valid, then he has something he can work on. I don't feel that way. Like, I like receiving positive feedback. Like, I like to know I'm doing a good job. But if there is negative feedback, I try to iterate and rectify whatever that issue is, as long as I can. It's within my control.
Yeah, and when you come, I'm sure you're gathering a lot of feedback when you finish off, and that's helpful in many ways in terms of how you've done in the camp and where you can improve, and making sure everybody goes home feeling they've had a really fulfilling experience. Do you also touch base with them after a week or two, or and whether it's a survey you send them or an email and thank you, and any reflections or?
Yeah, so I myself and, like, say, the people I'm working with, I make it a point of having that interaction with people as the week's going on, like that one-to-one interaction. How are things going? You enjoying it? Is there anything, anything you think you could do differently that would improve it or make your experience better? So that's definitely one part of it during the week. And then there is a follow-up, like, say, a week to 2 weeks. It's automated, but because people are pretty exhausted by the end of it. They're like, oh, I've got no brain, no capacity to think. So I'm like, all right, we'll come back to it. And, if you think of anything when you get home, let us know. And so we send that off. And we receive different perspectives. Like, I even ask certain things like, was there anywhere you went and ate that was like good, that you enjoyed, that was outside of, our organized experience? Because then I'm like, oh, I'll check that out next time and maybe we'll go there. Like, sort of shopping, like, what was your, like, did you bring any gifts home that were, that you thought were really good? Where'd you get that from? That sort of stuff. So, because I've got 50 people who are potentially getting new ideas and things I can do to iterate and kind of improve. So, I'm definitely, we take on board the live feedback, the one-to-one, and then we send out a bit of a feedback survey as well, like a week, within 1 to 2 weeks after.
Yeah, and your next one is in March.
Yep.
And it's already...
So we have a back-to-back in March. So Camp 1 is sold out.
Wow.
So that's 50 people on that one. And Camp 2 right now, we're sitting at 20 people. So, and it's probably, this is a bit of a learning experience for me as well. So right now, we're at Christmas period. People are prioritizing, obviously, the family gifts and expenses and that sort of stuff. So it's probably not the right time to try and sell an event unless, the gift that they might be getting is a ticket, which actually I've had a few, something that I've experienced recently.
It's a good gift.
Yeah, something I've
It's a
experienced
great gift.
recently is I've had partners. It's predominantly wives or girlfriends of their whose partner trains jiu-jitsu, and we've been arranging like a surprise gift, which is a ticket to my event for their gift. So we just had someone the other day buy their husband a ticket to Thailand for a Christmas present. Whereas in Thailand, just gone in November, we had several participants on there who were giving gifts, surprise gifts to come for either 30ths or 40ths or anniversary gifts. So it's like that's pretty cool to think about. Like it's at a point where we're delivering some value and people want to do it at a point where it's like, hey, if you want to get me something that's meaningful, get me that. Like that's pretty cool.
In New Zealand on Boxing Day morning, there's thousands and thousands of unwanted gifts show up on Trade Me, which is like a local website where you can resell stuff that you don't want. Thousands of gifts that people get. You're better off to get someone an experience at BJJ Escapes and have a really good time instead of buying them a TV for $3,000 that they don't want, or whatever,
Yeah.
But that makes a lot of sense. How do you get away? You seem someone that's like obsessed about this, and you've obviously got into it, done really well, something you always wanted to do. How do you get away from this? How do you get away from business? How do you chill? How do
I switch off? Yeah, good question.
Is that a thing?
Switching off? Well, it's kind of it's interesting that when I first started doing this, the whole train of thought was, find something you love to do for work and you'll never work a day in your life. That's kind of the rhetoric that I heard.
Yeah.
To be honest, that's how it started, but that's kind of not exactly the truth. And there's a whole bunch of memes on this on Facebook and Reels, but it's basically find something you love to do, and you'll do it so much, even though it's so hard that you'll keep pushing. So to switch off from this, it's funnily enough that I do jiu-jitsu. So like my switch off is exactly what we are doing to a point. But I've got a young family. I've got 3 young kids. So spending time with them is good, but it's hard. Like I'm always trying to think of how can I, or what's next? How can I improve and that sort of stuff. So I'm definitely working on that. The switch off thing is difficult for sure.
Yeah, it's a good sign when you switch off thing is what you do.
Yeah.
It's a really good sign. It's almost like, I do this podcast and I know when I'm getting too serious with it. Because there's every episode, there's 1,000 things you can do better, and you're thinking about that, and then you're trying to, replicate that and execute on that. But there's a fine line. It's like, okay, I'm getting too serious with this.
Yeah.
And I need to tone it down. But my favorite thing is having conversations.
Yep.
Right. And doing comedy, which is what I do. Like I write satire, news, comedy, and things like that on X, which used to be Twitter. It's almost like a good sign that you are on the mat to take a break from just being on the mat for 2 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I'll also say that, I'm not so at these events, I'm not training every session hard out 100%. Like I'm picking and choosing.
Yeah.
Because sometimes there's things that I need to do that isn't training. Like I need to make sure the guests, their rooms are sorted, or they've got some needs that need to be met. So I'm not always. It's not just me. I'm just training and that's it. I'm kind of facilitating people's needs and then training where I can.
Yeah.
I've come to just through my personal jiu-jitsu journey so far, which is only still very new, but I've come to realize at times where I've either got too much stress going on or I've overtrained, I get pinched. So jiu-jitsu is close contact, right? Obviously you're interacting with people and your skin gets pinched and hair gets pulled and all that sort of thing. So that I can recognize now that when that happens and I get frustrated about it, I'm like, all right, I need to just take a seat back and I'll just go rest rather than pushing through, because that used to be my mindset for a long time. It's just push, harder. And like there are times where that is the case, but you get pretty close to burnout. And my career before this, I'd worked in mining for 15 years, like shift work. And yeah, burnout's a pretty big thing. And specifically I was in emergency services. So high stress environments at times, not always, but at times. So it's just like, sometimes you just don't need to push. Sometimes you just need to take a seat back and yeah, just relax.
Yeah. Do you compete?
Yes. I have competed a lot. I've been dealing with a pretty serious neck injury. I got pinched nerves in my C5, C6. So for the last 9 months now, I've been dealing with that, and my left arm goes numb all the time, and pins and needles and loss of strength and that sort of stuff. So I haven't competed for a while, but previously, yeah, I had competed a lot. And that's kind of another part of how this all came about. Initially, when I first started, I was like, I could do this professionally, like just stupid, because I'm not that fucking good. But I'm like, I love this so much. How can I kind of turn this into something to, derive value or make me, it can be my new career. So I was like, competing. So I competed a lot. I really enjoyed it. And I really like, putting myself out there into environments and testing yourself. And I did quite well. I won a few local things. I won national title and all that sort of stuff. But that's just down here. And then there's levels. Then that's kind of how I thought, I'm never going to be good enough to make money out of this competing. What other avenues are there? Or there's like gym owners, like gym ownership. I'm like, well, that's pretty cool. That's maybe something for the future. And then seminars and events and that sort of stuff came about. And I'm like, well, that's one way that this came about, sort of thing. But yeah, so with my neck injury, it's been regressing, which I'm very thankful for, because I had surgery booked. I was going to get a fusion under advice from the orthopedic surgeon. But fortunately, with the physio work that we've been doing, it's regressed, and the pins and needles are still there, but it's not as bad. So we'll continue down that track, and hopefully that subsides, and then I'll be able to compete again. But yeah, I train hard and I enjoy it, so
yeah,
we'll just keep doing it.
Do you find like injury management and recovery is also a positive and a fun thing to do? It's part of life, and you get injured, and you don't want to get into this depressive mindset, and you want to like enjoy different creative ways of healing and recovering and staying away a little bit and taking it easy, and you feel like you're getting back into it in a much more refreshed mindset and energy.
I'm sure that's part of it, but not for me. So
you get frustrated. You're like, I want to get back into it.
I want to do the thing that I love to do, and then I'm not able to do it. It's pretty. I wouldn't say I'm depressed from it, but I'm like, it's frustrating for sure.
Yeah.
And I've got friends who, they're black belts, and they've been training their whole life, and they've just had, like say Jesse, for example, he's just had 2 hip surgeries on left and right hip. He hasn't been able to train for so long, and he came on Thailand just gone, and he had to sit. He was sitting out and watching, but even just watching, he was enjoying that. But like, yeah, you want to do something, but your body's not able to, or if you do it, it's going to make your body worse. Like, yeah, it's pretty shit.
Yeah, it's a tough one to kind of navigate through. Have you tried stem cells? Is that something that could help with the neck?
Yeah, so I have a friend who recently either went to South America or Mexico. I'm not entirely sure, but he had stem cells. He had a similar injury to mine, but far worse. And he had stem cells done. And I believe he's going back shortly for his second lot, but it's been successful.
Yeah, I hear lots of good things about it. They do it in Austin, Texas. Joe Rogan talks about it all the time. Mm-hmm. He's always taking his guests.
Can you take me?
Yeah. It's like, let's do some stem cells.
Yeah.
They'll fix it. But yeah, no, sounds good, man.
Yeah, I'm definitely not. I'd love to give that a try, and if that's something that will work, then yeah, absolutely. It's just not within the realm of my location at the moment. So maybe
So how much mat time you're doing now?
whenever the open mats are on. So I don't know. I'm kind
So
of
you're fine with your injury. You can still get on the mats.
I'm now able to work around it, and there's certain positions and there's certain people like I've kind of at a stage now where I can sort of pick and choose and feel comfortable with saying, hey, no, I'm not going to train with you, and sometimes like that should be the case with everyone. You should be able to feel comfortable to say to someone, how I don't want to train with you, like for whatever reason. Like everyone has a right to say that. But I feel like for a long time, I just didn't feel like I was comfortable to say that. But now as things go on, time goes on and I have injuries that I'm dealing with, I'm like, you've got to be choosy to a point because like, you might be training with someone who's very new or can't really understand how much power they're exerting, and then they could do that accidentally, and then that just makes my injury worse. So I'm definitely a lot more choosy with who I'm training with. And yeah, it's like they mightn't like that, but it's not about them. It's about me and what I need. So
yeah, good. I think it's you. Do you think that? Do you worry that if you have an injury, you can't get on the mat, and then your business would be impacted, or do you think you have enough people that can run your events and you can just be there and not have to get on the mat?
Yeah, well, I don't need to be on the mats for my business to operate. I'm not the coach. I'm just organised.
It's a good place to be.
Yeah, I just organise it. But the business came about because I love to be on the mats. So, like, yeah, I've had events run where I wasn't able to train. So I had it's probably like my fourth event. I had a staph infection, which is like a skin infection, bacterial infection. Unfortunately, it seems to be pretty common with jiu-jitsu. But I was pretty run down in the lead up. Like I was just a lot of stress, really. So a staph infection came about, and like 2 days before the event, I seen it on my arm. I was like, "Fuck!" Like upsetting because I'm like so excited to train with these coaches and these people, and then I'm like, this comes out, and I'm like, well, I can't go on the mats. You have to have that cleared up before you're able to train. So I said to the group, like at the welcome speech, hey guys, welcome. I won't be training, and this is the reason why. And they're like, oh, that sucks. But, I'll be here. Anything you need, let me know. And that was kind of good in a way because then my focus was just on the people and what they needed and not like not me and training. So, yeah, no, it worked out fine. But I've had times where I haven't been able to train at the events, and that's been fine.
Yeah. It's International Fight Week this week and this weekend. You're going to be watching UFC 310?
I certainly will be. Where will I be? I'll be here, yep.
Yeah, and who are you excited most that's fighting this? Do you know who's fighting?
I don't even know who's on the card. Who's on the card?
Who's on the card? It's Pantoja.
Okay.
He's fighting Kai Asakura.
Yep. I heard Kai Kara France talking about this. He's like, you chose the wrong Kai.
Yeah. I think he should be fighting. I think if he was fighting, he would knock out Pantoja. He's
an exciting prospect to watch. Yeah, and I'm not from New Zealand, but because I live here, I'm more drawn to local fighters. So
yeah, no, he's great. Did you see him fight the Australian guy last time? Who did he fight? It's Steve Izak. Did you watch that fight?
I can't remember.
Yeah, I think it was a TKO. I think.
Yeah,
he just threw this punch and he just froze.
For a little guy, he's got some go.
Yeah, he does. So that's the what is it? It's not bantamweight. It's flyweight, I think. And then we have Shavkat. Fighting Ian Gary.
Yeah. Well, I was just with Ian Gary in Thailand.
That's what I was going to ask. Maybe he was doing his camp.
Yeah. So he was there with his family. So holidaying. But I did ask him. I'm like, oh, are you here for a camp? And I think this was before it was announced. So, but yeah, he was there for it. I think he didn't really want to mention any of it because maybe it hadn't been announced yet. But yeah.
Yeah, it's a replacement fight.
Gotcha.
Bilal Muhammad was fighting Shavkat for the title. Mm-hmm. And Bilal's had an injury, so he's out.
Yeah.
And so Ian Gary's come in.
Yeah. Very, very interesting. And like I've always known about Ian Gary, but I looked more into him after this sort of personal interaction.
Yeah, it's a very interesting, like he's an Irish guy
Mm.
and he's kind of like not taking that Conor McGregor path where he's kind of more Brazilian. I think his wife is Brazilian and he spends a lot of time there and he's,
Yeah.
he's very much into, is he jiu-jitsu?
He has a level of jiu-jitsu for sure, but his stand-up is awesome. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
They're both undefeated. So
yeah.
I'm very excited for that fight.
Yeah, you can't. Well, I'm sure you can, but like MMA fighters these days, they're so well rounded. They're not obviously they specialize in whatever technique, but they all have jiu-jitsu. They all have wrestling. They all have boxing, kickboxing. Like they have all of it. They're all so well rounded. Whereas back in the day, you'd be a specialist in this and this only, and maybe have a few other skills. But yeah, they're all so well rounded now. Like, yeah, it'd be no problem. They'd be able to beat most people.
Yeah. How do you think jiu-jitsu racks up with sambo? This is guys from the Khabibs and Islams.
So when I was in Thailand, I went and trained before our camp started. I went and trained at Phuket Grappling Academy, and there were a lot of guys like Eastern European guys there. So I was wrestling, not rolling, wrestling with. I can't remember where they were from, but I got the shit bashed out of me, suplexing me left, right, and center. And like when I'd got there, I'd seen them doing this to each other. I was like, fuck, I want to test that because I like wrestling, but these guys are levels upon levels. So yeah, amazing.
They go hard, man.
Oh yeah, in
Dagestan.
It's just a different. They're just brought up like that. Like I was brought up playing rugby league, and I played pretty well, but like
it's a big business there now. You can go for like a week or a month experience to learn Dagestani sambo, Dagestani wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
It's huge because of Khabib and all these guys in the UFC. They've made it like a global standard. Like so, just like your business, it's a lot of businesses in Dagestan that people go to just to have that experience.
And that would be cool. Like I'd love to do that. That would be amazing. But yeah, I suppose they just have a hardness to them that I know it's next level. It's inspiring to see for sure because like they're bred for that sort of thing.
Yeah, one idea that I had would be fun to explore is like if you do your experience in Vegas during an international fight week and you have all these guys coming in for an experience and they're there to have fun and go to the events and watch the fight and drink and party and they can get on the mat as well. That would be cool.
Yeah, for sure. I have never been to Vegas. I've always wanted to go. I was looking to go this year for the ADCC CGI events, which happened on the same weekend, which was pretty cool to see. If anyone knows anything about that, it was a bit of a spectacle. Unfortunately, it didn't work out, so I didn't get there. But I would love to take a group there. They have some huge jiu-jitsu events over there. So yeah, it'd be an amazing experience for sure. Yeah. And like the UFC PIs there, like there's
the PI.
there's a lot
I think a lot of people don't talk about the PI UFC has. It's amazing.
Yeah,
they're doing the whole nutrition things for the fighters. The fighters can use it. It's like perfect for preparing them out of camp and for the fight week.
Yeah, for sure. It's next level stuff, and they're a professional organization. I'd love to go. I'm not sure if they allow public tours, but that'd be something really cool.
Yeah, if you can work with them, because I think they'll probably need a lot of marketing and people getting to know about the PI. Even fighters don't know that UFC has a PI. Isn't that crazy? I think they have about 700 fighters on the roster, and there's fighters that they don't know that UFC has a PI that they can use.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Yeah, for sure. I love seeing when you're like pre-fight week and you've got all the YouTube series coming out, the embedded series.
Yeah.
I love seeing like whenever they're there and you get all the behind the scenes sort of looks.
Yeah, the
cool.
facilities look amazing. Well, I think UFC is coming in Australia.
Yes, that's
February.
Yeah, next year
in Sydney. I don't know if Walt's going to be fighting because he wants to fight for the title with Ilya Tapuria, who doesn't want to fight in Australia.
Gotcha.
Max Holloway doesn't want to fight in Australia. Apparently, taxes are way too high. He would rather fight in Vegas.
Yeah.
I don't think Volk wants to fight Diego Lopez. I don't think he should fight Diego Lopez. I think that's a risky fight because you want to fight for the title. Who do you think is going to win? Do you think Diego Lopez can beat Volk, or do you think Volk can take it back from Ilya?
I'm just going to go with Volk, mate. Like,
Same.
Topuria is amazing.
Yeah, he's
for
just
sure.
got
But
next level boxing.
I'm just biased because Australian. So,
Yeah, it would be cool to see Volk beat him up.
it would be cool. But, like, there's no...
He just got into it too early. He had two. He had the Islam's head kick knockout against Islam. I thought that was like, he just needed some time to. But, you talk about how fighters struggle. They just want to get back in. I think he was like struggling.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So, Volk has Volkanovski. I'm not saying Volk is a friend of mine. I don't even know him, but I'm a big fan. But he has he's part of the Bang Tao team. Like he goes there for fight camps and that sort of stuff, and he's good friends with the guys over there. So we were kind of chatting about that. But just like any fighter, he just wants to get back in there. And like by no means am I qualified to speak on this, but it's just my opinion. But like, there's no convincing people who have made up their mind. Like, you can either support them, and he's a professional. Like, he just wants to get back in there. So like, unless you're dealing with some sort of CTE or concussions and that sort of stuff, like, like, he's a fighter. He wants to get back in there and prove himself. So yeah,
it'll be a good fight. I think his fight IQ is next level.
Oh yeah,
I just can't wait to see how he if there's someone that can deal with someone like Ilya Topuria's boxing, it's either you have a dangerous young guy coming in and you throw someone like Diego Lopez at Ilya and see how they go, because Diego Lopez got some really good jiu-jitsu, it's good grappling, and his striking is just incredible. I mean, he was amazing. The last he fought was at UFC Sphere and the UFC Noche against Ortega, and man, it was like an incredible fight. And then you have someone like Volk that has just this different level of fight IQ, the way he adjusts. And one of the things that he kept doing, the mistake that he was making, he'd pull back. When Ilya goes at him, he pulls back, but he's right there. His face is like very strange for Volk to be doing something like that with his fight IQ. And then obviously the commentators kind of get into the deep analysis of it, the Joe Rogans, and it's like, he keeps doing this, he keeps pulling his head out, he's going to get caught. And obviously, Ilya goes for this 3-4 punch combo and he catches him.
Yep.
But someone like Volk will adjust very quickly to that. And he's had a really good break as well.
Yeah, and
Be a good fight.
Topuria, like, I just see the power from the punches he throws. I'm like,
It's so tiny.
Oh, mate, if he I'd get knocked out easily if he threw that at me. Like, these guys are like, it's all like inches and millimeters, but they are like professionals, and everything that they can do to capitalize on how good they are, they do.
Yeah, I mean, I was watching John Jones and Stipe fight.
Yeah, that was cool.
And the sort of that the rolling kick that he did, which got him down.
Yeah,
and you just like, whoever you are, you get one of those kicks, you're going down.
Yeah, for sure. It was cool because then he goes on to say, like, I don't fear the man who knows 10,000 kicks. I know the man who does one kick 10,000 times.
Yeah.
And then they show him repeating that kick over and over and over. He's cool.
It's a good kick.
And, it was impressive to see, like, he's so dominant, and they're both amazing. Like, so, but yeah, and now everyone wants to see him versus Aspinall, which would be another amazing matchup. So
yeah, I think that's a good fight, and I think everyone's pushing for that. I would personally want to see him fight Pereira.
That would be cool as well.
It's just more flair,
Yeah, that's more of like a spectacle.
Yeah, and John Jones lightweight. He's not a heavyweight. Naturally,
yeah, but he's in the heavyweight.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah,
but he's like, I think Aspinall's like 30 pounds bigger than him naturally, and he's young and he's fast. And I get the danger of that, and but I think, I mean, did you watch Pereira fight
His last
Roundtree?
fight was, that was cool.
Oh,
Roundtree took a lot of damage.
Jesus.
And
but he was winning. Roundtree was winning.
just goes to show how tough Roundtree is because he was copping it and like
He was tiny too. Like when you see them get in the cage, you're like, wow, this guy's huge.
no, like every fight that I've ever seen of Pereira's, he's just done some mad damage. And Roundtree had a lot of damage on him at the end.
Yeah.
But he had some heart for sure, and he kept going after him. And I was like, fuck, it's next level. That's like I have nothing but respect for MMA fighters, but it's not for me. Like I'm already ugly enough. I don't need my face beat up anymore.
Yeah.
So I've had enough hits to the face.
It's brutal. It looks brutal. These guys are like next level. Like you see someone like Dan Hooker. You just realize very quickly they're just built different.
Yes.
It's just a different mindset, different skill set. You're just like, nah. That's
for sure. Like that's another thing where I think jiu-jitsu's why it's so popular. Like you're in that realm and close enough to the danger, but you're safe enough that you're not getting so badly hurt, like say through concussion and that sort of stuff. That's what it's like a bridge. It's like you're close enough to fighting, but far enough away that you're right in the sweet spot. So that's why I think Brazilian jiu-jitsu is going as successful as it is.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Like a good entry point.
Yeah, good medium.
Yeah. I'm excited to see how my boy goes. He's obviously at MMA in New Plymouth.
Yeah.
He got his first stripe.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah,
it's a cool
he was
feeling.
very excited.
I remember when I got my first stripe on my white belt, I was blown away. It's cool to see as well, like with MMA, and I was chatting to someone about this the other day, with MMA and kickboxing, like obviously you gauge your growth, I suppose, through your sparring and, you know, how you stack up against other people. Whereas with jiu-jitsu and other martial arts that use the ranking systems, you get live feedback on how you're going, not only just from how you're handling other people you train with, but you know you've got a visual representation of your grading, your stripe, belt. Like that's kind of because sometimes, as I was saying before, like you know you go against someone who's a lower rank than you, and you get your fucking ass handed to you just randomly because they're gifted athletes or something. You're like that hurts. You know, it hurts. But then, you know, at least you're getting an indication that you are progressing because you're getting these promotions, they're coming. So, it's kind of fulfilling to know, like, hey, I might, every now and then I might have these occasions where, like, I dip, but then in the grand scheme of things, you know, it's forward trajectory and up and up.
Yeah, it's funny. Like, we were at the park playing, just take the kids to the park, and this big boy jumps him, my son. And he just goes for the legs, grabs him, drops him, and takes the back. Like, this is the basic things that he's been learning. But he was so pumped by that. He's like, you know, let's go. Yeah. I'm like, calm down. Take it easy.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to see that you can take the skills that you learn, like, in a controlled environment, and they work in the real world sort of thing.
It's so empowering to just know how your body works and what you can do with your body and just basic things. You know?
And even with, like a very short amount of time, like you can maneuver your body and manipulate other people's bodies in a way that, you know, if they don't have any experience or like in martial arts or even like rugby or wrestling and that sort of stuff, like if they don't have that experience, like you have a pretty clear advantage pretty quickly. But you know, there's always, like, if a punch is thrown, like you've always got a chance to cop it. So, but just being able to maneuver your body and your opponent's body, it's a pretty amazing skill.
Yeah, your boys are doing really well.
They are. Yeah, it's
the young one that I always see is like, he's got really good techniques and skills.
Yeah, it's really cool to see. Like I never pushed them into training jiu-jitsu. They just know how much I love it and see me doing it, and they now want to do it as well. So they've been going for a couple of years now, and they're doing really well. So it's cool to see. My eldest Tate, who's 9, I took him. He and I went to a competition a little while ago, and you know, you always see those parents on the sideline like yelling at their kids, not in jiu-jitsu, but like say on soccer or rugby league or whatever. It's been my experience when I was younger, and they're like yelling out, and I'm like, oh, I'm never going to be that person, never going to be. And anyway, so I took my son to this competition, the first time I'd ever gone with him. And I was that person. I was like, I convinced myself that I was giving him tactical advice, but I was like animated as. So that was really cool. And he had a great time.
Yeah.
And
You have to be that dad, I think.
yeah, there's a place for it for sure. But I was also
Yeah.
trying to coach him. That's what I tell myself. So.
Yeah. I think that's a cool thing. I like that. I mean, you do like I have these ideas like if my son's fighting and I'm on the corner, I'm like, just make sure that he's going full noise. And there's no room for being friends when you're in the cage.
Yeah.
You gotta throw that head kick,
Yeah. Well, luckily there's no head kicks for my kids, but no, it's I'm the biggest fan for sure. So no, and they're mine. Like anytime when I used to compete, they'd all come watch, and yeah, it was pretty cool. Pretty cool experience.
You going back home for Christmas?
Yeah, back to Australia. Heading back for a few weeks. So me and my 3 sons, we're heading back, and yeah, we're gonna have a nice little trip. Catching up with all my family are still over there. So I've got my parents, my sister, my cousins, and then they've all got their children. So my kids and their kids, all cousins, they all get along. So we'll be over there for several weeks on the Gold Coast, and yeah, just enjoying the time on the beach and being with family.
That's awesome, man. How is this? How do you feel about this year? You reflect back, you feel it's been a good 2024?
I don't take much time to reflect. I'm always like, even with my camps, right? Like I definitely need to work on that. Is something that's like, because it's pretty cool. And I've had friends say to me recently, like, man, congratulations, that was an amazing experience. Who were on the event? I'm like, yeah, thanks. But I'm always thinking about the next.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. So if I think back to the year itself, there's been a lot of change. Like we're living in a new country, a few adjustments that we're having. So yeah, there's been a lot. I'm happy. Like I've got good base of friends. I'm in a new environment. So yeah, no, it's been good. It's been good.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. Well, thanks for doing this. This is fun. This is fun.
Thank you for having me.
Great. Just quickly tell everybody your socials for BJJ Escapes. Where can they find you? Your website, your Instagram socials.
Yeah, so Instagram's like our main medium that we kind of utilize. So that's just bjj.escapes. And see that one.
Yeah.
And website is bjjescapes.com.au. So yeah, but anytime you want to do a jiu-jitsu retreat, give us a look. That's pretty much it.
That's fun, man. I can't wait to join in.
Yeah, get you on the mats.
That would be good fun. I got to get into the basics first.
Oh, it's all right. I'm still learning the basics all the time.
Yeah,
it's an ever ongoing process.
Yeah. It would be cool to when my boy's 14 to bring him along as well.
Yeah,
it's nice, like father and son trip as well.
Yeah, for sure. We've had father and sons come. We've had mother and sons come.
That's cool.
Families come. Like, yeah, it's not just like a single person. Like, you can bring your whole family and they can have a holiday whilst you train. Like, it's a bit of everything.
That's awesome. Thanks again, man.
Right,
thank you.